Hi, I'm Jane from Glitter Ink Designs, and today I'd like to show you how to make my hot air balloon favour box. It's perfect for a baby shower or the little one's birthday. You can use it as a favour box by putting in some sweets, a little plush teddy bear, some other treats, and you can also use it for a centrepiece decoration at the party. So I'm going to show you how to put together these adorable little boxes made out of cardstock, which you will print using one of my designs. So you will need to print out 2 pages. One page has the balloon top and the second page has 2 basket bases, and this will actually make 2 hot air balloons. Okay, so you need to print those out, and the tools we'll be using today: scissors, a very small hole punch, a ruler and an X-Acto knife, which we will use to score along the fold lines. If you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can use any sharp object. Some glue or double-sided tape. I'm just going to use a glue stick, which is easy to work with. We're going to need to use 4 lollipop sticks to make the basket poles, and some sellotape and some string to put it all together. Alright, so let's get started. So we take the first page, which is the top of the balloon, and we're just going to cut around the shape. Okay, so we're just going to follow all of the cut lines around, and just be careful as we're cutting around the button. Just want to make that nice and neat. So I'm not doing a very good job because I'm doing this upside down. Okay, so we just want to cut out all around the shape. Okay, so we've cut all the pieces out now. We're just going to put the second basket to one side because we'll use that for our second hot air balloon. Now we've got all the pieces here to make one balloon. So remembering to leave the white tabs, but you need to make sure you cut along this silver dotted line right up through the white bit. So you'll see that you'll cut right up to where the edge of the white meets the colour. Okay, because that's where we're going to be folding that over. Okay, so you'll see a little silver dotted line there, to just make sure you snip all the way up to the top of those white tabs where they meet the coloured bit. Okay, now we're going to punch a little hole at the top. So here I'm going to take my small hole punch. Okay, so it's one of the smallest hole punches, and you'll see some little circles here that have been marked. So you want to just pop a little hole through those circles on each of those 6 balloon pieces. Okay, so on each of these panels. So you can see I'm just popping a very small hole right at the top of each panel. Okay, and I'm just going to move these out of the way for now. We're going to use these pieces for the basket base. Now you notice this little tag here. I'm also going to punch a very small hole at the far corner there. Okay, and I'm going to use that as to decorate the top of my balloon. Okay, so what I'm going to need now is some string. So let me just grab my string. Okay, so I've cut a piece of string. It's around about 7 inches or 18 centimeters long. It doesn't really matter about the length. You will trim it later. It's just easy to work with a longer piece. I'm going to tie a double knot in the end because we're going to use this string to thread through the balloon top to pull it all together and make the circular shape. So we want to start at the right hand side of the balloon top, and we're going to thread the string through starting from the back or the unprinted side and pulling it through to the printed side. In the second panel, starting from the back, pulling through to the front, and we're going to start to overlap each of those balloon panels using the string. Okay, so then I'm going to thread through the next piece. I'm going to let that go just to show you. Thread through from the back to the front, or the unprinted side to the printed side, the back to the front, the back to the front, You can start to pull that all in, and then the back to the front. Just be careful, the string's starting to fray a bit. Okay, so there we've got the string is threaded through each of those balloon panels. Now we're just going to pull it all together really tightly so all of those overlap very, very tightly. Okay, so you just want to push them into place, make sure that they're overlapping on top of each other, so each of the holes is right directly on top of the other, so they're snugly tucked into place. Okay, so that's what the top of the balloon box looks like. So you can see on the inside, there's the knot holding firmly underneath. So what we're going to do now is tie a small knot right on the top, just to lock those into place so they don't move. Okay, so we want to try and get that knot as close to the cardstock as possible. So you want to try and guide that knot down with your fingers. I don't have very long fingernails, but that would be helpful. So there you've got a little knot at the top, just to hold that firmly into place. Don't cut off the excess string yet. We're going to add a little tag once we've put the rest of the balloon top together. Okay, so we'll put that to keep the string for now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue all the sides together to form the rest of the balloon top. Now we're going to glue it together along the white side tabs. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue stick. You can use double-sided tape if you prefer, or a glue gun. I prefer using a glue stick. I find it's quite easy to use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start with not the edge, because it's a bit more tricky. I'm going to start with the inner tabs. I'm going to put glue on about the first 2 or 3 tabs at a time. So let me just, I'm doing this upside down, so it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue on the first 3 of these tabs. Just making sure that you don't get glue on the coloured pieces. Okay, then we'll do the 3rd bit here, because I'm not used to doing this upside down. Alright, so we're just going to start with the first tab, and we're just going to overlap that gently. Okay, so you're going to take the coloured piece and you're just going to overlap it so the white tab is completely covered. So you'll see, you'll start to see a little bit of a bulge at the top, because you're sort of forcing it into a bit of an unnatural shape. That's how it's going to get its balloon shape. So we're just going to work our way around. And because it's not a natural shape for the paper, just need to take your time and be patient and just sort of gently push it and press it into place so that it doesn't come undone. Okay, so we'll just keep doing that. That's the 3rd one there. Okay, so just make sure you press that nicely into place. Okay, so again, just pressing that nicely into place using your fingers. So just do that for a few seconds more on each of those, just to make sure that it sets nicely while the glue dries. Okay, so you can start to see now you've got those first sections are coming together, so they're starting to form the base of the balloon. So now we're just going to put glue on those remaining tabs. Do exactly the same, so just put glue on those remaining tabs. Okay, and we just do the same, we just work those in with our fingers, just overlap it so there's no white showing at all, and just use your fingers to firmly press those sides together so they don't pop apart. Okay, just press that together and press that together. Okay, so before working on the last one, just take a few more seconds just to keep pressing that together with your fingers until it is held together firmly and the glue started to dry. Okay, so it's starting to take shape now, and we just have to glue the last side together. Now I left that to last. This open side's a little more tricky because of the strange angle that this is starting to form. So we're going to put glue along that last white side tab and also on that button. So we're going to overlap the button as well. So we're going to do the same as before. We're going to first of all overlap the coloured bit from the adjacent side right across that white tab, so there's no white tab showing at all. So you want to get that lined up first, and then just start pressing that firmly so it starts to adhere. Okay, and then we'll do the button. But just do that first bit first to make sure you just work that in with your fingers, pressing firmly so those two sides start to adhere. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to press the button on top of the other button, and you'll start to see this will distort the shape a little bit because we're changing the angle. Okay, so you'll see it starts to bulge out a little bit before, a little bit underneath the button, but it's supposed to do that because that's how we start to get the curved shape. Okay, so again, just make sure we're pressing firmly with our fingers all the way down that side, and then put your fingers inside and just press that button down. Okay, and now we've now got our closed balloon top. Now what you need to do, just to get it in a beautiful round shape, just use your finger gently, press down on the top, and you'll find, just do that a couple of times, and each of those panels will sort of fall into shape, and now it's a much better shape, much more round shape. And there we have our balloon top. What we're going to do now is, using the string, we're going to thread through that little tag we have. It's just a nice little decoration, which you can actually add your own text by using Adobe Reader, which is you can download for free from adobe.com, and you can actually write in your own text, overwrite the existing text to put in your own short message. So as I was saying, this is great for baby shower, for a birthday party, or even for a wedding, and you can put your own little message in that tag. And again, let's just tie a little knot at the top and secure that tag onto the top of the balloon top. There we go. Now at this stage, if you like, you can leave a little bit of length on the tag, so on the balloon, so people can pick it up. I'm just going to leave just a tiny little piece at the top, and now you have your balloon top ready to go. Okay, so we're going to leave that to one side. Okay, so now we're going to work on the basket base piece that's already been cut out. So the first thing we need to do is score along the fold lines. So scoring just consists of making a dent along all of the fold lines, all of these dark grey lines we're going to score. And it just means when we fold the paper along those lines, because it's thick cardstock, it makes a nice, crisp, clean fold. And so the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to take a metal ruler and an X-Acto knife. If you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can use another sharp object, or you could use a ballpoint pen that no longer has ink in it, and just you want to use that to run alongside of the ruler. So what we're going to do is just put the ruler alongside the fold lines, which are the dark grey lines here, and we're just going to run the X-Acto knife along, making an indent but not cutting right through, because if we cut right through, we're going to cut those tags off, those tabs off. So what we want to do is just make an indent along the line, but not completely cut all the way through. Okay, so we're going to go through, and we're going to do that for each of these fold lines. And you'll see once we fold up the box, it's just going to be much neater, much sharper folds. Okay, now we just need to do the base folds as well. So you can see, because it's cardstock, which is heavyweight paper, I'm pressing quite heavily, just so that it makes a nice dent, so that will fold nicely. Okay, so put that cutter away. So you can see now how easy it is just to make those nice folds along those lines. So I'm just going to fold all those lines in. Those are the base tabs, and then this is the side of the basket box. And finally the base. Okay, so what we're going to do is start by joining the sides together. So we're going to take this grey tab, get the glue stick, and we're just going to run the glue along the tab. And we're going to pull the other side together and just overlap it. Okay, so line those up nicely. And then push that down firmly with your fingers just to make it stay in shape. Okay, so you can see we've just made that corner there, pressing on that inside tab. Now this is the base of the box, so what we're going to do is place glue on all of those 3 base tabs. Okay, so just run the glue stick along those edges. Okay, so covering all of those silver tabs, silver grey tabs. And I just want to pop each of those tabs on the inside of the box, because that's just what we're going to use to form the base of the box. So push that in. Okay, and then just run your fingers along there. So the base sits nice and flush. So there we have the basket base. Okay, so we're going to take 4 lollipop sticks, and we're going to place one stick in each of the 4 corners. And I'm going to do that just by using a little strip of sellotape, which I've actually already cut. Okay, so I'm just going to, and you could use glue if you prefer. So I'm just going to put that on the stick, and then I'm going to pop that inside the box and push the stick right into the corner, and then just push the sellotape into place on the inside of the box so that holds nice and secure. Okay, so here's my other stick. Second stick, I'm just going to put sellotape on that. And again, I'm going to push that into the corner of the box, and then press the sellotape onto the inside walls of the box so it sticks. Okay, and here's the third stick. Okay, so I'm going to put that into the corner of the box and just pop the sellotape onto the side of the box to hold that stick into place. Okay, and finally the 4th stick. I'm going to pop again into the corner of the box, press the sellotape into place, and now I have the box, which is the basket base for the balloon with its 4 sticks. Is we're going to add onto the front of the basket our greeting that we've edited using Adobe Reader. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue and stick that onto the front of the box with our greeting. Now to make it a little bit special, I'm actually going to use this double-sided sticky tape, which is thicker, and it'll just give it a bit of a 3D dimension. But if you don't have that, don't worry, you can just use normal glue and stick the little label onto the box, but I kind of like it to stand out a little bit and have a 3D effect. So I'm just going to put that onto the back of the label, peel off the second side because it's double-sided sticky. So I just want to peel off that backing. Okay, but I need fingernails to do, and so you can see that's on there. Now I'm just going to take that and I'm going to stick it onto the front of the basket. Okay, so you can see there I've done it so it stands out a little bit because of that sort of 3D effect. Okay, and then we pop our basket on top and we're all done. Now, some ideas you can use to decorate the sticks. If you don't like the ends of the sticks showing up so much, included in the printout some little hearts. So you could actually glue the hearts onto the sticks if you wanted, and that just hides the top of the sticks and makes it a little more attractive. Or you could even glue on little bows. So you could glue on a little bow on top of the stick, or get any kind of jewels or stars or other embellishments and glue them on just so it gives a little bit of a finishing touch onto the stick. Okay, so now your box is ready to fill it up with your treats, chocolate, sweets, party favour, a little plush teddy bear, and it fits in quite a handful of chocolates and candies in there, and so it makes an adorable favour for your baby shower, your birthday, or even wedding. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy making my hot air balloon favour box.